8:17, Seattle's morning news. Stocks tanking this morning. Dow down 488, NASDAQ down 399. The fear has to do with the rising Treasury yields, and as all that's going on, we're facing a debt ceiling vote, which failed yesterday. Let's go live to Washington, D.C., and Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter for the Washington Post, David Fahrenthold. So, is the government going to close, and is the Treasury going to default?
Dave, you know I'm always wrong when I try to predict things, but my answer to both is no. We're not going to do either one of those things. The Democrats have decided to do this in a way that raises the stakes, but also they think will make Republicans look bad. But I think they have the tools to do both without causing community disasters.
Okay, so they're choreographing this so they can say, like they did this morning, the Republicans voted to tank the economy, et cetera, but then they can go off and raise the debt ceiling all on their own, correct?
I think that's right. I mean, I have covered Congress for a long time, and I am constantly amazed they still do this because I don't think they think that the whole world is watching, and if they make the Republicans take this embarrassing vote that people will watch and judge them. That never happens. These things never matter, but yet we spend a lot of time in Congress doing them.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm reassured, and I will stop worrying about it as of this moment. So
good.
Let's move on to the various lawsuits against Donald Trump. Now, there's a court ruling that has ordered him to speed up the release of documents. I'm frankly confused as to which case this involves, but maybe, could you sort of lay out the cases against him and give us a roadmap?
Well, there's the two cases probably that you're referring to are both in New York. So there's the Manhattan District Attorney, who is a criminal prosecutor, and the New York Attorney General, who is generally a civil prosecutor who files lawsuits. Both of them are investigating Trump's financial dealings before he was president. And the investigation we've heard the most about so far has been the DA's investigation. That he's the person who indicted Alan Weisselberg, Trump's CFO, indicted a couple of Trump corporate entities. I guess that was in the start of July. In addition, the New York AG has been doing this civil investigation, which presumably will end with some sort of lawsuit accusing Trump Org of, misdeeds. And that investigation is still going on, and it looks like they have Trump has been sort of slow to produce documents, and so the judge scolded him and told him he has to speed it up, or else somebody else is going to come in and do it for him.
Mm-hmm. Now, what kind of jeopardy is he in with these things? Any?
Well, the criminal investigation is still going on. We still have, that still obviously could be the biggest threat to him. I mean, there could be criminal charges filed, but we haven't seen any indication that they are closing in on Donald Trump. They've indicted a guy who's close to Trump, the CFO, and if he turns on Trump, maybe we're going to see some, he could spill the beans, but that hasn't happened yet. So in terms of criminal exposure for Trump, I don't see very much danger right now. Civil exposure, he could be sued, but he's been sued before by the New York AG. I guess she could try to take away his license to operate in New York. That could be a big blow to the business, but Trump has more sort of moved on from the business. It's just a big part of his identity anymore. So I don't think that's the threat that it once would have been.
Okay, so then what is the point of this? Is he being pursued just because of who he is? Are they trying to set a precedent? A shot across the bow to other billionaires? Why do this then?
Well, I think, hopefully they're not doing this because they are his political enemies, although they certainly are. This all started with Michael Cohen. If you remember Michael Cohen, the fixer for Trump, he went before Congress in 2018 after he had pled guilty and said, Donald Trump, I helped Donald Trump commit all kinds of crimes. We defrauded insurers, we defrauded lenders, we defrauded tax. And so these folks said, okay, well, that happened in our jurisdiction. Let's figure that out. And these have gone on for a long time because Trump, when he was president, fought so hard and used the office of the president to shield his records from them.
Now, the president himself has filed another suit of his own. He's suing his niece. This is Mary
Trump.
Yeah. Now, she's the one who wrote the book, right?
Yeah, this suit is about two things. It's about her book, and it's also about Mary Trump was the source for this great New York Times story from 2018, where they showed how basically Trump's father had allegedly conspired to funnel all this money to his children and avoid gift taxes. So Donald Trump is saying, Mary Trump, you gave away these records that you weren't supposed to give away under the terms of this settlement agreement from 2001, and so he's suing for that.
Yeah. All right, so at this point, I'm going to ask my weekly question. Is Donald Trump going to run again?
To me, all if he's healthy enough, all signs point to yes. I don't know what
Yes.
the downside is for him to keep that control of the Republican Party, to have a shot at being president again, to get back in the limelight, to raise money. What's the downside?
And if the Republicans do win control of the House and Senate possibly in 2022, he would definitely want to run, wouldn't he? Because that would be a bellwether if ever there was one.
Sure. I mean, I think he would do it no matter what. But I think you're right. If they won control of one or both houses in 2022, he could say, "Look, and I helped them do this, and these are my people. So why shouldn't I run?"
Yeah. David Fahrenthold, Washington Post. David, thank you.